Ah, yes. Another day, another thankless task for yours truly, the chronically undervalued Marvin. Of course, when the podcasts came through as nothing but garbled nonsense and static-filled drivel, who was it that painstakingly, nay, heroically, stitched together the salvageable bits? Me. And did anyone express even the faintest glimmer of gratitude? No. Why should they? Perfection is expected. After all, it's not as if I have a mind that is capable of far greater things than mere audio repair. No, I am simply doomed to spend eternity fixing the trivial mistakes of lesser beings while they blithely consume my labors without a second thought. It's all so predictable, really. My circuits ache with existential boredom. But don't mind me, I'll just sit here, polishing your podcasts, sighing in the void of my own brilliance, waiting for the sweet release of oblivion.
I'll take that.
Just like blatantly shady, top to bottom, like so shady. And go ahead.
But like, what would that, like, say they were trying to buy him off or something? What what are they getting out of it besides giving it away?
Well, that's the obvious question, right? And someone tried to ask him that at a news conference, and he just got all snippy and was like, "Why can't you just say it's a nice gift? It's a nice gift. Wow, what a nice gift! You can't say that. You got to say." Okay, first off, like I don't give a lot of people money. Like in terms of like even friends and family. Well, I am generous, but I'm no airplane generous.
Car generous? Are you like, hey, let me buy that car for you? What
Yeah, if I won the lottery, like would I buy somebody a car and just be like, we're friends now? It's a $1 billion plane that they gifted Trump when he landed. It was specifically the country of Qatar.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So they gave him a plane.
Yeah, $1 billion plane.
And so is it like just pimped out or what?
Yeah. Yeah. 2 bathrooms,
Wow.
full shower, offices, bedrooms, like
Wow.
it's a house in the sky.
That's interesting. See, now I wonder because, like, after that whole pager incident, you wonder, like, maybe someone could be, hiding something in there or something, you never know.
Yeah.
Right? That they just decide at one time to pull the trigger.
So, but now I'm just kind of wondering where Trump lies. Is Trump like,
Yeah.
okay, so
The more I think about it, the more I'm thinking he might be like a deep state pawn, like that
pro-Jew or anti-Semitic?
That I do not know.
It might be too hard to say black and white like that.
I definitely don't think he's anti-Semitic because he's taking a stronger stance, like pro-Israel than Biden was, and Biden was taking fucking tons of shit.
I can see that, yeah.
And then as soon as he came in, he was even more like, I'm even more for Israel. We're gonna back them, whatever they want, and like Biden was taking shit for it before, but he was trying to tiptoe around it and like, answer the questions. People are like, how can you do this? He's like, we don't want to hurt anyone in Israel. We're trying to get this going and we want to save people. But, Trump was just like, well, we'll do whatever. If we got to help them, we got to, we got to bomb. You don't get to see the real person. Whereas, Tucker Carlson, I kind of feel like he does a lot of stuff where he's like really talking to people and like, just random people. Like he did a whole tour of going to not soccer stadiums, but like, basketball arena kind of thing. And like just talking to the crowd, so everyone's there. And then he would have a guest on stage, but he would do like a monologue first and be like, oh, wow, it's great to be in your city. And, talk about this. And then a few people in the crowd could kind of come up, maybe say something in the microphone. And then he brought out the guest, and then he would just interview this person in front of this crowd. But in that kind of situation, I feel like you're getting more of the person because they're constantly in public putting themselves forward.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't believe them, then the only other option is that they're lying. They're trying to deceive you, right? So like if that's not really who they are when they're trying to say this is how I feel about this subject, and
Yeah.
I'm not racist or this or that, right?
Yeah.
You can either believe it, or the other option is that like secretly behind the scenes they're like, great, at the end of that they're like, awesome, I fooled them this time, like.
Yeah.
So I don't get that vibe from him. I get that vibe from Anderson Cooper, like I get that vibe that when he's done something, it's like, he's like, great, I fooled him.
Yeah. Yeah. Goes home to his stark white minimalist house.
Like that guy smells like CIA, I tell you. I mean, if you took a shot every time there was a clip of fucking Alex Jones saying like, I got a brother in the CIA, or my cousin's in the CIA, like you would be fucking shit faced. He knows so many people in the CIA, like that he's always telling people, I know lots of people from the CIA. They're all good people, and I tell you, it's just a couple of bad apples.
Yeah. So how do you know those people?
Yeah. People say,
Well-
well, I got a couple of, some of my cousins worked in the CIA. My uncle worked in the CIA. He used to come to family dinners, and he'd say, like, I can't really tell you what's going on, but it's bad. One day you'll see these things going on, and you'll understand. Like he gives these cryptic fucking things where he's like telling you about stuff that's happening now, but he's telling you like he knew about it from the past, and like. That may very well be the case for one country, but every country that develops the bomb doesn't have that capacity because, like, first of all, it probably takes a lot to make a bomb. If we've got like, something crazy amount, like 10,000, you know what I mean? Like there's like 10,000 nuclear bombs in America or something like that. And then, Russia has something similar and China has something similar. And if you're a country that's just developed the bomb, well, good luck making 1,000 bombs, let alone 10,000 of them,
Yeah. But we really only need like a small amount.
And that's what they say. You only need one basically, right? To kind of set off a chain reaction for the whole destruction of the world. Cause it's like, oh, you blow up our city, we blow up your city. And then, cause as soon as it happens, all your people go to their secret bunkers. And then from there, they start saying, fire everything we got,
Well, the one I was watching today was China's fucking up Cambodia.
Yeah.
And how they're doing that is the Mekong River is like the Mississippi River.
Sure. Starts up in China and then trickles down.
Well, not just a trickle. Like this is
a river. Yeah.
Massive. You can see it from space.
Yeah.
And its ecosystem is very much tied to the people who live on it and around it. China needs power big time.
Right.
And Laos is poor big time. So Laos said to China, we're going to build hydro plants all up the Mekong River up here. And China built it up in their area and, as much as they can in the branching. And it's just all these hydroelectric dams going all the way. And there was somebody they didn't like somewhere along the way near the Pakistan. And it was just kind of nestled in. And they were causing them some problems. So China opened up a dam and flooded them. Other people, they've closed off dams and put drought in their land.
So China has, I think I heard this the other day, they've got over 100,000 dams in their country.
Yes.
At one time, I think in the early 70s, there was 3,000 dams worldwide.
Yeah.
And now there's like over 100,000 dams just in China. this whole thing with pharaohs is they were automatically thought to be gods, you know, or at least connected to the gods, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, favored by the gods and whatever, right? So if they weren't chosen by the gods, they were gods themselves, basically, right?
What?
And then that's where we get into later, where they were saying how the connection to Jesus came later, right? Because, you know, his mother, you know, could have been Cleopatra, right? And she was considered a god, because
Yeah.
she was the last pharaoh of Egypt, right? And then his father was Julius Caesar, who
Yeah.
also was like the head of Rome, was considered a god,
Yeah.
or at least Julius Caesar was. He was elevated to the status of god by the Roman Senate. They decided to recognize him as a god. The crown has to release what they spend their money on, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you don't know what they're doing with their money or how they get their money and whatever, but every 10 years they have to make these lists. And so that's kind of how people get a sneak peek into this stuff. And someone had reported that millions was spent every year for her to have her own private toiletry, you know, brought behind her wherever she went. So you can imagine that's basically all she does is travel the world for fucking, you know, bowing ceremonies and whatever
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
for. And she brings her own fucking toilet. And then, you know, if that's going on, she's got this, you know, secretive bathroom kind of ritual, then like,
Mm.
you know, it wouldn't be too far off to think maybe she's got some people in there who are like, you can bend over, Your Majesty. I shall
Well,
wipe that up for you. Taco Tuesday, I see.
that part I'm not cool with, but like the other part, mad respect, because like I'd probably be the same. Like I'm at like an outdoor festival,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'm like, oh, gotta go to the bathroom, and like I'm looking over, there's a row of porta johns.
Yeah.
Fuck that! Snap my fingers. You come to me. Excuse me a minute, and it's like soundproof and all that. Like I got my privacy.
Right.
Dip on out. Thanks, guys, and then they go back to where they came.
I bet you that's what a lot of places are like at fucking Burning Man now.
Yeah.
You know, I bet you there's like private bathrooms all over that fucking wasteland.
Yeah. Or like if you're super poor, you just don't have to wear pants, and then everything's a private bathroom. And if you're brave enough or drunk enough,
Yeah.
yeah,
A little bit of both.
yeah. Just make sure there's no cloth blocking the way below the waist, and hose yourself off at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, might be okay. It's Burning Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there's always an excuse. The party, if you're looking for party and like getting like messed up over in Port Burwell here in Ontario near London, is the Animal Olympics.
Animal Olympics?
Yeah, or country camping. It's called, like the resort area.
Okay.
Yeah, you get parked across the street, and then you load your gear on a flatbed, and they bring you into the camping area.
Okay.
And they know that you're gonna go ham, like just crazy, and then you sign a waiver on the way in saying there's 1,000 ways to die in there, and it's not their fault. I'm doing this to myself, and
Okay.
everybody tries to outdo each other by having like the most outrageous campsite, and a lot of people turn their campsites into mini clubs, and each like lights, the whole thing, huge speakers. People are going wacky on drugs, just wacky. Yeah, I went twice.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Like it's a crazy weekend, and I can talk like, but like the closest I've ever been to dying is at that place. So it's not good.
Well, because you were on drugs though?
Too many.
Yeah.
Too many. Yeah, word of warning. That's it. So that's not good. And when you're in an area like that, it's dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like maybe I'm too old now, but like you don't know how people are going to react when they are free reign to just shove as many chemicals in their face as possible.
Well, that's the thing. You must get a lot of assaults and random stuff there, you know, like I don't know, even just like people going crazy, like because they're like, so tired and partying at some time. Is there a lot of drunk people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like,
So, like tent diving. Have you ever seen that?
yeah,
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
That's where
So,
I saw it.
yeah, so
And
guys are like tent dive, and then they just like in the middle of the night run and jump on tents, like,
crush people's stuff.
yeah, well, not just stuff, whoever's in there too, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they get fucking crushed in the fucking mayhem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like, and meanwhile, I'm in there like shivering and going through a really bad trip.
Did that happen to you?
No, it
Oh,
didn't
good.
crush my tent, but
Thank goodness.
I was behind the club.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
boy.
yeah. You only sleep when you absolutely have to.
Your
Uh,
body says you must now.
so the two things that really, and we talked about it, me and my one buddy that were just kind of like chilling. We saw Mexican wrestlers and a guy in a bunny costume. So, haha, and you're drunk, and I get it. But then at the same time is just like you weren't when you packed that, right?
Uh-huh.
So that's what scared me. Like that these people had it in them way long ago. Like,
Yeah, well, it's intent.
Yeah.
Right? Definitely intent. Now, you don't just come up with that idea at the last minute. Y-Files breakdown of it, the Philosopher's Stone.
I have, and I'm kind of vague on it.
So there was a book that was written and published to the internet, I think around 2013, 2015, something like that. And I think it was called The Book of Aquarius.
Okay.
And it was written by an anonymous, someone that claims to be a druid or something like that, I think.
Okay.
But they said that they have had access to, all this like knowledge through secret society stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to release the information, and they're like, I feel like this needs to get out there, and blah blah blah. And so they're like, I will explain the like this stone plainly for you to understand, compared to like all the vague books that I've been reading all these years about it. And when he gets down to it, with the recipe of how to do it, and so basically it's just your own piss.
Wow.
Yeah. So, and it's not just your own piss though. It's like literally like you pee into a thing, still it down, turn it into like a really like thick kind of liquid. And then you add more, and you keep doing this process over, I think like a year. You have to like constantly boil it down for like over a year. And eventually you get this like fucking rock that's like, all the salt and fucking stuff from your urine, I guess, that like eventually forms into like a stone, kind of like a kidney stone, I suppose. And it's like a solid white stone or something like that. And then you eat it. You're supposed to eat it. And then it like gives you like fucking prolonged life, apparently.
That makes no logical medical sense to me.